Welcome back. We're talking about teams this week. It's part of our relationship skills, social emotional learning competency. It's family time 201. First, it's important for us to make a distinction between groups and teams. We belong to a lot of different groups, but groups are often assigned to us. The world will put you in a group by your age, by your race, your culture, your background, your socioeconomic status. Those are groups, right? Where you're from, all those sorts of things. That's a group. More often than not, it's up to you to put yourself in a team. And a team, to me, we can define it a lot of different ways, but a team is a group of individuals that are working toward a common goal, that have a common purpose. And that's, by my estimation, just one of the greatest things. Like, I really think like I'm addicted to like the team kind of culture or thing. It's part of why I love athletics and why I love teaching. It's part of why I've always trained as an athlete, like even outside of coaching stuff, trained as an athlete from the time that I was 5 years old. Is I'm drawn to that, where it's like, hey, here's a bunch of individuals, but if we come together, we can use our skills to support each other, and we can be something more than we would have been by ourselves. And that, to me, is the best thing about a team and kind of one of the defining characteristics of the team. We'll spend some time in class kind of defining a team, what makes a team. But to me, it's like that the team is more than the sum of the individuals. That because of the unique talents and characteristics each of us contributes, we create this all together more powerful thing. And when I'm talking about teams, I want you to consider the teams in your life. Yeah, sports teams are pretty obvious, or any of our extracurricular activities, that's like a team. But I want you to think of any group in your life that's more than a group that becomes a team. Like, in the best cases, our families feel like a team, where it's like we feel supported and we feel like we're contributing something, and the members of our family are supporting us and we're pulling in the same direction. But even if that's not the case, like, we have to build teams into our life. Like, you have to find those people that will sacrifice for you and you're willing to sacrifice for them. People who fill gaps. I always think of that as a great way of defining some of the best parts of a team, is that, like, okay, by myself, I have these gaps, I have these shortcomings. These other people who belong to my team, they fill those gaps and they challenge me in the right ways and they help me become more than I would have been otherwise. And that's the best thing with when you have a real friendship, where it feels like that sort of team sort of thing, or a romantic relationship or whatever, where it's like this other person, this other group of people really elevate me. And that's an old saying, is that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I really think there's a lot to that, where that becomes your team, for better or worse, the people you're spending most of your time with. So you have to ask yourself questions. Are those people building you up? Are they contributing to you? Are you contributing to them? Are you being a good teammate? That's something I want to talk about this week too. What does it mean to be a good teammate? Are you contributing? That's an important thing for us to consider. I talk about it a lot with our actual teams, our actual athletic sports teams, when we do our training. Is, there's so much more of an emphasis on doing things outside of the school, and I'm not taking away from that. It's okay to do those extra things, but when it's club sports, or I talk to other coaches who, certain kids, I have my own trainer and I go and do this and this, and it's doing those extra things can have a lot of value. But I always think, how much of those things are just for you as opposed to for us? And that makes such a big, big difference, where I'm all for do the things that are going to benefit you, but also consider, are you being a good teammate? I'm just talking about that example, but just in general. Are you contributing? Are you elevating other people? That's what a good teammate does, is brings other people up. And like, what a powerful thing. Far more powerful than an individual skill that you can develop, like a technical skill. Far more powerful than that is, can you help the people around you play up, become better, aspire to something greater? That's going to be far, far more powerful than developing an individual technical skill. And being a good teammate, from my end, means you have to sacrifice some things. You have to do some things that are uncomfortable, and you have to put yourself out there a little bit to try to pull other people along and figure out what they need and how you can contribute. So those are all things I want to discuss this week. Think about what it means to be a good teammate. Think about the teams you belong to if you're being a good teammate in those situations. Think about who your teams are. Who's contributing to you? Who has your back? Who sacrifices for you? Who really wants what's best for you and is trying to elevate you and fill your gaps? All right, until next time, much love.